Okay, in this video today we're going to look at the Hero project and we're going to look at composition. So what do I mean by composition? It's the placements of objects to make a picture look interesting. So starting off, I'm going to divide my paper into 6. Now you might be thinking, why have I done it so irregularly? But actually I'm trying to create a portrait style picture here, and below next to it 2 landscapes, one above each other and the other one somewhere in between. So I've got lots of pictures of Bruce Lee gathered around me. We've been collecting on Pinterest. We've been making a little sway document about it, and we've got lots of images collected. I've actually got some Bruce Lee books in front of me here, and I've got on another screen images. And I'm picking this strong image of Bruce Lee in a sort of side-on guard. His shirt's half ripped off, and he's just looking very cool. Now I'm going to think what I want to put in the background. So I could have lots of images of him here doing a flying kick in the background here. Maybe doing a sort of a circular yin-yang sign in the background there to sort of show that some of the Chinese philosophies. And on the side, I'm going to have Bruce Lee, sort of maybe a front-on look. I could make that into a Banksy style sort of block image. But we'll see, it's just getting the composition and thinking what looks cool. I think that's pretty cool actually. Good start. The next one now, let's think. Okay, I'm still in the portrait zone. I'll have Bruce Lee a bit close up. I think I'm going to have him with his arms spread out, showing off his sort of battering physique. So there's his arms gone off the page. Nice full-on strong image. It's so powerful, fills the page and more. Only contained on the corners of the page. I'll block in the image here. And in the background maybe. Keep it simple. I'll probably just in Chinese write his name. I don't have a reference to Chinese in my writing, so I'm just making up some symbols to create balance. Right, next we've got some landscape images here, so I'm going to put in a sort of skyline. This is just coming off my head now, so I haven't got any images in front, but I would get the images so I could do maybe the Chinese landscape, and I think San Francisco, he spent a lot of his life, that's the landscape there, and I could look at doing a Hollywood landscape as well, because he moved to Hollywood and gained some success, especially when he appeared on the Batman show as Kato in the Green Hornet, and then in fact made one series of the Green Hornet with him starring as Kato. So another strong image of Bruce Lee, sort of guarded, fighting stance. I keep saying this, but don't worry about the quality of the drawing here. Mine are okay drawings, but they're just to be quick sketches to get ideas. In the background there I'm going to do the Bruce Lee sign for Jeet Kune Do that I found, and some of the writing that goes around the yin-yang sign, sort of almost as if it's rising up like the kind of the sun in the horizon. Maybe do some other images in the background, some smaller images of Bruce Lee in fighting stances, or little images from his films. Okay, so let's move on to the next idea. I like the idea of including some of his heritage. So on one side I'm going to do the American flag, on the other side I'm going to do the Chinese flag. Just find a bit of difficulty here because both flags, as I realise, have got their prominent features in the left hand corner, top corner of the flag. So I might have to work on that a little bit, but I like the idea of having the 2 flags floating in the background. Again, the yin and yang sign is some sort of almost like a, how can I say, almost like a sunset. And I'll have a side-on face with maybe on one side of him when he was older, and Yang on the other side facing each other, and his name in the middle. Maybe do that in Chinese writing later. So, have a quick think now about this next one. I think I have Bruce Lee again in one of his traditional sort of and he often did a thing with foreshortening where he put his hand out and it looked very powerful. He used to do it to put his opponents off, but also it just looked great on camera with the hand almost spread out towards the viewer. And so I'm going to get that iconic stance in here, and just get enough details so you can see what I'm doing in my head. So working out, showing off his physique as always. And then I've got to think about what I want to do in the background now, so just getting a little bit more detail in so we can get the idea of a face there. And sometimes you won't finish the sketch, you'll just collect a thought or an idea. So on this one I'm I'm going to put on lots of faces of Bruce Lee. Now, maybe some of them will be done in a Banksy stencil style, some of them will be done in a sort of Shepard Fairey style, with sort of lots of sections of colours, and others will be just normal pictures or black and white pictures. I might even do this as a collage. I might print these images out and stick them on to make it a background image. I might end up painting over them, but I just like the idea of hundreds of images of Bruce Lee floating in the background here. In the corner here, I'm sort of framing it with one of his very sort of famous weapons, the nunchuck, or a weapon he made famous. It's a Chinese rice flail, and he used to spin it around at ridiculous speeds and look really cool. And I thought the idea of we could collect things in the background, like he desperately tried to make his name in Hollywood, so we could have the Hollywood sign in the background to show his movie making career in America. Going back now, I'm looking at some of the images I've got, and I'm kind of really liking that first image that I did with Bruce Lee standing in the fighting stance. So I'm sort of putting that in now. In the land, and I've changed it so I've got a more traditional landscape. I've put my line across there. So I've put Bruce Lee in there again. This is a shirt ripped off image from, I think it's from Big Boss, his first film in China, and side on stance there. And again, I like the idea of the flag, so I'm going to put in the American flag there, but I'm going to blend it, I think, with the Chinese flag. So you see that people are coming in there. That'll be quite tricky, but maybe I can do that on a sort of Photoshop style program where I can do that sort of blend in, so it'll be easier for me to work out how to do it, and I can paint it if I choose to. Again, then I'm going to put in the Jeet Kune Do logo that was created. I'm not quite sure he created it, I think it was created after his death. Then on the side maybe you could have some other images of Bruce Lee put on. There's a cool image of him with sunglasses on which I quite like, so I might put that on, and maybe a side-on image there. All things to experiment with. So you see, within 10 minutes I've come up with 6 very different images. Now I can pick 1 or 2 of those, and on the next page develop them further. Now it's your turn to try, so good luck.